Okay, guys, so here we have a AmoveHacker in blue going up against the Slanesh's, against ViejoSuicida in red. So starting with the Vampire Coast here, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 units of zombie pirate deckhand mob. We're going to have 2 of them with polearms. Then we're going to be looking at, 3 with polearms. We're going to be looking at a unit of depth guard here in the center, very tanky, very powerful infantry unit. Going to see 2 Mongols on the right flank, as well as 2 scurvy dogs, which I'm not sure where they're getting deployed. It looks like Vanguard deployments by the look of it. Now, other than that, we got some firepower here in the form of 3 zombie pirate gunnery mob. Pretty short range, low level, but for how low their cost is, it's really not a bad investment to get that consistent ranged pressure on top of your opponent. Going to have a vampire fleet captain of vampires who will have Invocation of the Heck, the Hell's Dance Macabre, Hornswaggle, Taunt, as well as Speed of Lycos, Power Stone, Drowned Dead, and the Curse of Undeath. And then up in the air, the one, the only, Luther Harkin. Now Luther Harkin will be bringing the Magical Void, extra powder, and that is it. So, let's see what the Dark Elves have brought to face this scurvy Durg army. We're going to have 2 Harpies up in the air. Up in the front, we're going to see 3 units of Shades. Behind those Shades, we're going to have 5 units of Bleak Swords. These guys have Silver Shield, so they will negate 55% of the incoming fire. We're also going to be seeing up in the air Marathi on top of her Pegasus. She'll have Heartrender in the Dark Sword, Enchanting Beauty, Soul Stealer, as well as Greater Arcane Conduit. And then we're going to be looking at 3 Dark Riders back here, Vanguard deployed, as well as 1 unit of Slanesh's Harvesters over here with the Doomfire Warlocks. So 2 Doomfire Warlocks total, diving in and making quick work of these scurvy Durgs. Meanwhile, over here, it doesn't look like the Dark Elves were microed quickly enough to get on top of these scurvy dogs. So scurvy dogs are going to find that they're pretty well outclassed right now by the Dark Riders and the Slanesh's Harvesters. But 1 unit of them is going to be getting on top of some juicy units of Shades. Shades are fairly confident in melee combat though, so we'll see how they do in the long run, especially as these Bleak Swords turn around to help out. Luther Harkin diving in on top of the Bleak Swords, I think recognizing, hey, might as well get some free damage. These guys don't threaten me one bit. And it looks like the Dark Elves Harpies are coming over to counteract this and get down on top of the zombie pirate gunnery mob. Across the battlefield though, it does just look like the Vampire Coast was able to really win that frontline engagement with Mongols and everything, and they're putting a lot of pressure on the Shade backline here. But as I say that, the Dark Elves are dominating the mobility in this game. I think there's only 1 unit of Scurvy Dogs left. I can't even say it other than, I can only say it Scurvy Durgs, guys. Scurvy Durgs is the correct pronunciation. But other than that, pretty much all the mobility for the Vampire Coast has been dealt with. So in comes the Doomfire Warlocks, diving in on top of some Mongols. Their physical resistance should help them out there. We're going to see a big Soul Stealer coming down over here, hitting a ton of the Vampire Coast units, and it looks like the Hell's Dance Macabre being thrown down over here. It's going to be upgraded as well. Alright, Depth Guard just had a critical micro error. They turned around, they needed to keep chasing them. As soon as they turned around, look at that crossfire. So much damage being dealt to a very, very expensive, very important unit of infantry. Now, balance of power starting to shift in favor of the Dark Elves as well. And yeah, this is just starting to look like a Dark Elf game unless we see Luther Harkin start doing stuff here. I mean, he is full health after all. He just caused terror. So yeah, maybe I spoke too soon there. This is a pretty close match now that the Doomfire Warlocks are getting routed off by the Mongols and Luther Harkin. In come all of the Dark Riders though. Now these units will be so clutch right now. There's some units that are pretty far apart from the rest of the Vampire Coast forces, and it looks like the Dark Elves are looking to capitalize on that by charging in on top of them while the rest of the Vampire Coast forces are far away. 2 Shades in the back line still. We have a 3rd one over here that's pretty low on health, but these Mongols are chasing it down. We will see if they can survive the fight or not. And we do have Marathi down there helping out now. both of these lures are going to be very capable in melee combat. Luther Harkin will probably have the edge since he has regeneration as a passive plus invocation to heck, but Morathi has that Soul Stealer and the bonus versus large and some really good defensive stats. Oh, there goes another Soul Stealer. Not my favorite targeting. I feel like this right here would have been a better place to target, but I may just be mistaken. But here we go. What's this gonna be? Ooh, a Soul Blight going down. Not really sure. I guess it's decreasing the weapon damage of these units, but it just seems like a strange pick to me on such lightly armored units anyways. You're kind of wasting the minus 30 armor. Over here, Luther Harkin is going to get on top of a unit Shades, and these Shades are not enjoying their life right now. And the other Shades are also still getting chased. We're going to see the Dark Riders diving in on top of Luther Harkin, trying to slow him down. I actually like this pick. Get the Shades out of there, start firing in on him, while the Dark Riders keep him on the ground. And I think you'll have some good luck there. Meanwhile, we do see some Doomfire Warlocks coming back from the battle, and they're looking like they're ready to fight again, and one of them is even going over towards the Morghuls that are fighting with the Bleak Swords. And yeah, I have to say, this is a very back and forth battle, and Luther Harkin, as we've seen in so many battles before, until he's dead, you can never count out the Vampire Coast. I've seen him solo victory before. He's just so good. And he also has some really good magic resistance, so Soul Stealer, things like that, aren't going to be as effective on him as they are on other things. But here comes another Soul Stealer, speaking of the Devil. And looks like we're going to be seeing that one come from the Slaaneshi Harvesters? I might be mistaken. But right now, I would like to see Morathi dive in on top of Luther Harkin while she still has a ton of people meat shielding. Also, Shades, shoot. Don't go with your swords. Just shoot them. What you doing, Shades? It's a silly idea. But here comes Morathi, and oh, maybe just a nick too late, because look, the Terror Route kicking in right when she arrives. And she wanted to be there a little bit ago when she had a lot more people meat shielding for her. But now Luther Harkin looks like he's going to go ahead and just try to pull out of there himself. Oh, the damage is so real. Luther Harkin is such a tough lord. Alright, there he goes. Now, we'll see what happens. Morghuls coming in here for a nice rear charge against the Slaaneshi Harvesters. We're going to see Hell's Dance Macabre cast on top of Luther Harkin. But he is pretty well pinned in place, and the Shades are going to continue firing in on him. And, oh no, is he going to get out? Yeah, it looks like he's going to be able to pull out here. And the balance of power going back towards the Vampire Coast now. What a back and forth, guys. This is a slugfest. Morathi going in there. I think her timing was just barely off a little bit earlier, and she would have been in a lot better shape, but she took some pretty massive hits from Luther Harkin there. So she needs a Soul Stealer desperately right now to start pulling the balance of power back into her favor. Otherwise, it just looks like the leadership of the Dark Elves is starting to fall apart. Alright, there goes that Soul Stealer. I think that's an excellent cast. You're getting the Vampire Fleet Captain, you're going to crumble out these zombies, get on top of the Morghuls, and look at that, the balance of power going back in favor of the Dark Elves as Morathi heals up and deals a ton of damage to these Vampire Coast forces. And with that, look, the balance of power right back to dead even, guys. This is such a crazy, crazy match. Both players deserving a lot of credit right now for how well they're playing this. We're going to see the Morghuls coming over here, but Shades are starting to shoot into them now. And I don't know if they're going to be able to shoot in quickly enough, though. But some very nice spacing here. You see this? We got one unit of Shades here, one here, and one here. And now he can just fire in from every angle depending on which Shade is getting chased. And that's exactly how you want to do it. Keep continual pressure, spread out your missile units so you can do things just like this. Get him in a nice crossfire. Meanwhile, Morathi down on the ground. Going to go back in the air, but Terror is going to kick it on these Harpies before they can do anything. And there goes a unit of Shades getting terror-routed by Luther Harkin. Over here, going to see the Morghuls continuing to take a ton of damage. But they just shattered the Slaaneshi Harvesters. And yeah, it does look like Morathi's going to be able to take care of the Morghuls, though. They are crumbling out of existence. And if I were her, I may take this opportunity to deal some damage to the Vampire Fleet Captain. But as I say that, we see Luther Harkin here coming up on her rear. And she could be in a world of hurt right now if she doesn't get up in the air before Luther Harkin does this rear charge. Oh, man. What's going to happen here, chat? This could seal the fate of the Dark Elves. Marathi is a lot faster than him in the air. I want to say he only has 90 and she has 105, so 15 speed difference is quite significant and going to be enough to keep her safe in the air. But yeah, she's going to be getting shot by his pistol nonstop. And there goes a Terrorgeist Breath, a Death Streak. I'm going to do a touch of damage, but not that much. Oh my goodness gracious, these Mongols hanging on by a thread, everybody. Are they going to survive, though? We got the Shades now now regrouped. And here we go, that deadly crossfire we were talking about once again going down. However, he needs to kill these Mongols so quick. How much health do they have? Those stubborn Mongols at 100 HP and still hanging in there. But there goes Marathi getting on top of them. It looks like they are dead now. And now the Shades should be able to just focus on killing off Luther Harkin. But look at that. A taunt going down. Marathi's speed super low and her defense going low as well. Down to a mere 13. She is going... Oh, she's in so much trouble right now. Luther Harkin lands one more hit before this thing wears off. And she'll probably start terror routing. But look at that. It's going to wear off. And now your speed is going to come back to save her. But Luther Harkin still has ammunition and is still doing quite a lot of work against her. Oh man, how much HP are we looking at here on Marathi? 457 compared to nearly 5,000 from Luther Harkin. That's quite the deficit to come back from. But look at this, the Vampire Fleet Captain is now dead. And that's... No, army losses are going to kick in from there. I almost thought we were going to be seeing some crazy last minute forced to the ground play if the Vampire Fleet Captain got killed. But yeah, that was a tough one. That was a really, really good battle.